Hi everyone, it is Wednesday, May 13th, and we are going to get started with our day and the pledge. We've got some groundhogs to sing about today. We'll be talking about 100 days in kindergarten and doing all the rest of our work. So let's get ready and roll with everything. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, kindergarten, right up here, we have our groundhog poem. Now, this might look familiar. Remember when we were reading and learning about the groundhog, we were talking about our spring season that was going to be coming, and finally we can say spring is here, even though I think our little poem maybe wasn't quite on course to what it happened in our real world. But let's sing about that groundhog. Everybody stand up, get those arms in the air, do our crossovers, and ready to rock. Here's a little groundhog. Here's a little groundhog, furry and brown. He's popping up to look around. If he sees his shadow, down he'll go. Then 6 more weeks of winter, oh no. And boys and girls, today I want you to help me. There's nothing circled on our groundhog poem, but there are a lot of snap words that we know. So you help me, and I'm going to circle them, and we'll see how many snap words we can find. Start in the title. I see word A. Here's a little groundhog, furry and, ooh, and brown is a color word. We know those. He's, he and is, popping up to look around. If he sees, that's one of those in disguise with an S at the end, his shadow, down heel, another snap word in disguise, go. Then 6, ooh, number word, we know number words, more weeks of winter, oh no. All right, let's do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 words in one poem that we know. Way to go. That's what helps us be stronger readers, when we see those words and we read them in a snap. Remember, sometimes they're in disguise. They have letters that are added to them, and we just need to use good problem solving and figure out what those sounds are so we know what makes sense. All right, use all those strategies we talked about all year in kindergarten. Now, speaking of all year in kindergarten, let's take a peek at our handwriting review today. We've got the letter S, little curve, little S, and then our S words. I know some friends that start with S. Check your word wall sheet. 5 uppercase, 5 lowercase. Write some words. I see some words right here in our poem that start with S. And then our next letter is tall T. Big line, give him a top. Remember, when you give the top, kindergarten, we always want to go back to smile corner and cross the top like that. Big line across the top. And little T is tall, and he sits right above the line with his cross in the middle. And then 5 words that you can find that start or have a T in them. And our last letter today, rule breaker rule breaker U. There are no wooden pieces. None of our handwriting pieces make the letter U. Letter U is just big line, turn up. Big line, turn up. Little U, and we pull straight down. Curve and pull straight down. U words are trickier. You might need to find some words that have the letter U inside of the word and write a few of those. Do your best. And remember, helper hand holds your book. 2 fingers hold your pencil. Quality, careful workers. Rock it, kindergarten. Well, we've already done some of our reading work with the Little Groundhog poem. You know you should be reading for at least 10 minutes on your own. And we've got another poem to talk about today. So we're going to mix this poem up with our math counting today. In math, our poem today is about math. So here we go. Let's take a peek. We're going to count by tens. Counting by tens in kindergarten. So you can either stand up and do crossovers, or you can do hops to the tens, touch your toes to the tens. You think of a good action that we can sing to 100 days of kindergarten. All right, this was a favorite. Here we go. 100 days. 10, 20, 30 days of kindergarten, 40, 50, 60 days of kindergarten, 70, 80, 90 days of kindergarten, 100 days of kindergarten. And remember, even if kindergarten is super long, it gets 1 point. Kindergarten. 4 syllables or 4 beats, but it gets 1 point. Think back to the 100th day of kindergarten. Do you remember how there was another special day we celebrated together? Valentine's Day and 100 Day was all on the same day. So we used 100 cups and did lots of fun stacking. We made all kinds of different 100 books. We, of course, did 100 exercises. We played 100 dice games. And we worked in the water table with some fun 100 things we got to pick out. So fun to think back at all those fun things we did. So counting by tens is an important skill in kindergarten, so keep practicing that. All right, and then let's take a peek at our little math journal today. Our review journal is one that you might need to turn back and look at. It asks us to circle the 2-digit number that is the biggest. So we have to read these numbers. We have to say 52 and 75. Which number is bigger? Now I want to show you a little resource in this book. Remember, your hundreds starts back a few pages. If you're not sure which number is bigger, go back and find 52. There's 52, and then it said 75. 75. So, of course, if it's bigger, it's closer to 100. So, we know 75 is the biggest, so you would circle 75. So go through and figure out which is the biggest number in those little groups and circle them. Use the hundreds chart if you need to. And then some patterning work. It says, can you extend this pattern? Let's say the first one, circle, triangle, circle, triangle, circle, triangle. So what are we going to write? circle, triangle. Square, square, circle X. Square, square, circle X. Square, square, circle X. Now, when you get down here to that star, let me show you a trick. A great trick for making stars is to make an X and on top of an X, and it makes a pretty good star. So, do your 2 pages and quality work. Your last job in math, other than we're going to count by 2s and balance, but before I stand up to do that, here's one of the games you could play today, the missing number game. This is that fun one where you can put all kinds of different numbers in there. That one's a great challenge for us. Now we want to count by 2s. And I remember in kindergarten, we started really working on counting by 2s when we were talking about crazy socks. And everybody had 2 feet that were covered in crazy socks, and we counted everyone's feet by 2, 4, 6. So let's stand up, balance on one foot, and when I say switch, switch and balance on the other foot, and we will count by 2s to 30. Here we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Switch feet. 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Keep practicing count by 2s. It's a great skill for us. Now, yesterday, I read you the story of Diary of a Worm. And remember, that's when the worm was speaking out of the speech bubble, and he was telling us all about what it was like living underneath in the dirt and all of the things that worms do. Well, today when you do some writing in your plant journal, because that's our science writing for today, I wanted to show you a page that I have in there. Now, remember, Mrs. Oberg has already asked you to write it in at least one time, and you might have even done this page. But I want to show you the page that looks like this and talk just a little bit about it. So it still has a place for you to write the date, and then it says, brainstorm 2 things that your seed might be thinking. This is kind of like that Diary of a Worm, where the seed is the person doing the thinking or speaking. And these are thought bubbles because it has ... dots. So what would your seeds inside your little bag next to those cotton balls be thinking about? They might be saying, ooh, it's warm and squishy in here. They might be saying, help, let me out. They might be saying, I feel kind of wet and soggy, yuck. Or they might be saying, oh, it's like a sauna. It's warm and cozy. You think about, what might your seeds be thinking about? And I'm very curious if there's any action with those seeds yet. If anything is starting to happen with their seed, your seed houses. So let me know when it does, okay? So science writers today, and if you're not at this page yet today, just whenever you get there, remember I want you to write in your journal at least 3 times a week, okay? And the other journal, that's 3 times a week, is the Super Reader Response Journal. So make sure you're listening to these fun stories, and then you choose whichever days you want to do your response journals, okay? And that wraps up all of our work for today. You guys keep rocking it, keep counting, keep reading, and most importantly, play outside. Have a great day, guys.